Oh, quick hits, where we're going to break down a few MLB games and then move into a little tiny sprinkle of NBA. We've got Craig Trapp joining us to break some of these games down. Craig, how are we doing?
Pretty good weekend. Not the best Monday. Yesterday's picks, I did hit the Rays, but it's kind of like it was an asterisk because Otani didn't go yesterday. But I really like these games for Tuesday. I got a best bet winner over at Picks and Parlays for Tuesday in Major League Baseball. I just think this is one of these baseball seasons, similar to what we've seen in the late NBA, is you don't have to bet it every day because doesn't mean if you don't bet one day, doesn't mean the money's going to go out of your account.
Right. And sometimes if you bet on it every day, the money will go out of your account. Because some of these games are just beyond reason, and that's the issue. You try to, research and do all your homework, and sometimes it just doesn't pan out. But that's sports betting in general. But let's dive into some of these baseball games first. Let's start with Braves and Nationals. Braves are minus 134 on the road. The total is 9 runs. We've got Joe Ross going for the Nats, coming off a good one against the Mets, but otherwise has not been very good for the Nats so far. And then the Braves are throwing Yanoa, I believe. It's not listed on MLB.com as of now, but I believe that's who's going to be starting in this one. Craig, who do you like, or what's the play?
When you look at the odds, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. To me, yeah, like you said, Joe Ross has not quite been as good as what I kind of expected. I thought he would be a little better this year. But I still think, the Nationals have won 7 of their last 10. The Braves have only won 4 of their last 10. I don't think the Braves have that big a pitching edge. Yeah, if you just look at the ERAs, I think it does. To me, I think you have to take the Nationals here at an underdog price. I did, when I bet it, I got it at plus 125. I think it's down to plus 115, plus 116 right now for the Nationals. But to me, the Nationals at home are 8-5 on the year. They've been pretty daggone good at home. Now, their offense, it seems like feast or famine. So that's always the worry. But to me, I'm going to take the Nationals here at the sweet underdog price at home against a Braves team that just 12-16 on the year. I thought for sure this team would probably be reversed. I thought it would be about 16-12 at this point. So the Braves definitely been a disappointment so far.
Right. There's a lot of layers to this one. And I think the first thing that I notice about the Nationals lately is the fact that they were only minus 120 when Max Scherzer was on the mound. That shows you how much faith the odds makers have in this Nationals offense that has not been very good this season, except against lefties. I will say against lefties, they're one of the top offenses in baseball. However, over the last 7 days, they've been a lot better. Both of these offenses have been both top 5 or top 6 in OPS over their last 7 days. So it does look like both of these offenses are starting to come on a little bit stronger. However, I'll be looking at a team total for the Braves against Joe Ross. Like I said, he has had one good one, but overall 4.64 ERA. And I think this Braves lineup is trending in the right direction, especially the bottom of the lineup. Austin Riley, Christian Pache, and Wilson Contreras' brother. I think his name's Williams Contreras, maybe. But the bottom of that lineup has also been able to produce some runs. So I will take a Braves team total over 4.5 runs. Let's move on to the Yankees and the Astros. And what a fitting game. Today's May the 4th, which I know everybody's saying that's the Star Wars day with May the 4th be with you. So what better day to talk about the evil empire, which, normally would be the Yankees, but sometimes a lot of people think it's the Astros. The Astros have owned the Yankees in the postseason. They've knocked the Yankees out of postseason contention 3 of the past 5 appearances for the Yankees. So, the Yankees are going to be good and ready to go for this one. They're favored minus 122. Total is 8.5 runs. Craig, who do you like here?
I couldn't believe when I looked at the numbers after that series where they swept the Tigers. And yeah, it was only the Tigers, so, pump the brakes a little bit. But the Yankees starting pitching staff is number 1 in the AL ERA as far as the starting pitching is, which is pretty shocking. Kluber, I thought would be a guy that would not be good. He's had 2 great starts now. Obviously, Garrett Cole has been awesome this year. But this Yankees team is not winning how I thought. I thought they would win by the long ball because if you look at their lineup, that's what it would say. But
right.
I mean, they've been pitching well. I think anytime I can bet against Zach Greinke in a big game, I'm usually going to. I just don't think his makeup isn't great when it comes to the back. Or at least when I've bet on him, I've lost so much money, so I've kind of went the other way. The cheating Astros, as what they should be nicknamed, I think get hammered here this against the Yankees. I just think the Yankees have too much offense. I think that confidence is starting to build with this Yankees. And they're like, hey, we're winning when we're not even hitting. And I think if these bats come around a little bit, I mean, the story in baseball is about how bad the on base percentage, how bad the batting averages are. So the Yankees aren't alone when it comes to that. But give me the Yankees in this spot, minus 125. I liked it a lot better when it was a pick'em game at minus 110. But of course, Yankee money always comes in, so I'll take the Yankees minus 125. Let's call it.
Right. This line is moving towards the Yankees, where everyone, is expecting the Bronx Bombers to do just that. The problem I have with the Astros here is Zach Greinke. I feel like I can never trust him. He has got great stuff, and he has the most strikeouts on pitches under 70 miles an hour, which is crazy. Probably the most amazing stat I've seen. He has like 76 strikeouts on really slow pitches. So he has the ability to puzzle batters, especially guys that, can hit the home runs. But he has not been good against the Yankees. A 5.05 ERA in 15 career games, 12 of those being starts. But I got to go back to the Astros. I mean, it just seems like in their minds, they own the Yankees. Like I said, they've knocked the Yankees out of postseason contention 3 of the past 5 tries for the Yankees. I don't know. I think I'll take a chance on the Astros as underdogs here just because I do like these Astros bats. And if you look at run differential, the Astros are 3rd place in the AL West overall. But when it comes to run differential, they're the only team with a positive one. They have a plus 32. That means they're scoring runs and not allowing that many. And that even is that's even including that terrible stretch where they couldn't seem to score any kind of run. So I think this Astros lineup is due. I'll take them here as an underdog just because I do like the price. And everyone's on the Yankees. Let's go Astros. Let's move on to the Angels and the Rays. We've got the young fireballer throwing for the Rays. Somehow the Rays always find these guys that throw 101 from the left side, and Shane McClanahan is just that. However, he'll be going against this Angels lineup that includes the likes of Mike Trout and, oh yeah, Ohtani, who hit an absolute moonshot off of Tyler Glasnow last night. Craig, who do you like, or what's the play?
Mike Trout for MVP, right? I mean, they should say Mike Trout is going to get the MVP for the next 5 years, and we're just going for second place. I mean, his numbers and we just talked about it. The numbers, the batting numbers in Major League Baseball are so down. I mean, they're talking about some radical changes, trying to bring back some offense in Major League Baseball. In that era, Mike Trout is hitting what, like 600, 500. I mean, it's like the batting average is crazy. The on-base percentage is out of this. Even if you would have put him in the Barry Bonds era, his numbers would be amazing.
Yeah, he's hitting like 400, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous what he's doing compared to when everybody else in baseball is struggling. I won't say everybody, but the numbers are definitely way down. So for him to be such an outlier is pretty amazing. You just needed some pitching help. Get him some pitching help. It just seems like they could just get 2 decent starters. I mean, they have a good offense, but I think it's a tough spot for them. I just think this is a tough game. Tampa Bay is just built with that pitching. Like you said, Tampa Bay just seems to turn out pitchers, and it doesn't matter. They lose guys, they trade guys. It seems like they replace them just fine. Give me the Rays at even money here. I think they have the better starter. Alex Cobb's ERA, I don't think he's as bad as what his ERA is right now, but I don't think he's as good in this matchup. So give me the Rays as an underdog here. But I'm probably going to be playing some Mike Trout, probably like go over 2 hits in this game, just because it seems like the guy is always on base and he's having an unbelievable season again.
Yeah, their lineup in general is just really good. 1-9. It seems like Walsh is a good hitter. Fletcher, I think, is hitting close to 300. And oh yeah, Ohtani, my favorite experience to watch on TV. Last night, he seemed to be seeing the ball really well. He had a double, a home run, and he flew out at the wall. And that was just in his first 3 at bats. And then I had to go to bed. So I think I like the over in this one just because the Angels bullpen has been absolutely worked lately because their starters haven't been able to go deep in games. Last night, Quintana couldn't even make it to the 4th inning. So, or out of the 4th inning, I should say. So this Angels bullpen is top 10 in innings pitched, which is not a good thing. I know nobody thinks of the Rays as like offensive powerhouses, but they've been scoring enough runs to win games handily. So I do like the pitching matchup in the first 5. I think I like the Rays in the first 5 just because I like the upside for Shane McClanahan. He has electric stuff, 101 for his fastball, and then 92, 93 with his slider coming from the left side. I think that's he's going to rack up some strikeouts here. However, the thing is with young guys, when you're facing AAA batters is a little bit different than playing in the big leagues because if you make one mistake, they're going to make you pay, especially guys like Trout and Ohtani. So I think the over is worth a long, hard look here, and also the Rays in the first half or first 5. All right, let's move on to the NBA, my least favorite. I'm not going to lie. Craig, who do you like in the NBA today?
My free video play is asterisk again. Check the injury report because it seems like every guy for the Raptors is on the injury report today. So Raptors at the Clippers, 10 o'clock tonight, 4.5 star play. I like the Raptors plus 9.5. Big asterisk is Van Fleet is listed as questionable. I think he will go tonight. I mean, they've won 2 straight on the road. The other game they lost by 10. So at 9.5, I think that was in Utah. I believe it was in Utah. So 3 games. I think the Clippers, obviously they're looking ahead. The NBA, if you don't know, right now Clippers and Lakers would play first round. So NBA would love that. I think the Clippers may be looking a little ahead to the playoffs, trying to just get healthy. Give me the Raptors plus 9.5 as long as Van Fleet plays. If he doesn't play, I like the under in that game at 221.
All right, good stuff. We do have a few comments. Red Sox run line. I'd have to look further, but the Red Sox have been one of the best teams in the first 5. And the guy starting today, Nick Pivetta, is one of the most profitable starting pitchers when it comes to the first 5. So maybe look at a Red Sox first 5 bet. I know it's going to be heavily juiced. If you can get them -0.5, which means they have to be winning at the end of 5, that might be a good one. Craig, any thoughts on Nets plus 2.5?
I like Milwaukee in that game. In that game, I just think the Bucks are at a point where, they need Brooklyn. Just like, hey, if we're healthy, the Brooklyn thinks they can win it all. The Bucks need a little positive mental, where they feel like they have an edge over somebody. Because right now, I mean, after the last 2 seasons, Milwaukee can't have that confidence. I like Milwaukee. They just played, I believe, a day ago, and Milwaukee did win that one. So I think I'd try to take Milwaukee minus. I even see it at 1.5 at some places.
Right. I'll be interested to see how the Bucks are in the postseason, just because in the past years they've been good in the regular season, but that's been their bugaboo, has been the postseason.
Yep.
This year they haven't even been that good in the regular season. So
Yep.
I'll be interested to see which Giannis will show up to the playoffs, because if he is a true MVP, a true superstar, he'll learn to take over games late, with the final seconds on the clock and take over the game, and we just haven't seen it. So. Definitely interested to see that. I think the West is definitely the more compelling stories. I think for the playoffs for me, because you've got the Jazz and the Suns. My goodness, I think a lot of people like the Suns to win it all. And of course, the Lakers, once they get back healthy, are obviously going to be a problem with LeBron James, even though they've had a terrible stretch kind of in the regular season without most of their star players.
Yeah, I mean, what you have to worry about the West is, Murray went down for the Nuggets. The Suns have, other than Chris Paul, no experience. The Lakers have all the experience, but banged up. LeBron James, where he said his ankle is still 75, 80%. That could be a worry because they could be placing, like I said, facing the Clippers in the first round. Dallas, they have Luka, but he doesn't have a ton of help. Porzingis hasn't really had a season. It's like everybody has a glaring weakness in the West, in my opinion. The Jazz been really banged up. They were awesome the first half. So to me, the West is wide open. I think the Nets and the Sixers, and maybe the Celtics. I would be the three teams if I was betting on the East that I would say are probably coming. One of those three are coming out of the East. I know people say the Celtics, they can't win. It's just like they just want to get to the playoffs. If they get to the playoffs, I think the Celtics have the depth, and if they're healthy, can go far, in my opinion.
Yeah, here's the thing about LeBron. I always feel like he says that he's nursing some kind of injury in case he doesn't play
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
It's kind of an excuse. So I don't know if I believe him there. And I feel like half of this time they've just been resting up for the postseason and they're not really that worried about the regular season, as we've seen, with how many games that they've missed. So I'm really interested to see kind of the Lakers because nobody really is talking about them nearly as much as, you'd think they were. And also, there's so many good teams in the West. Like I said, interested to see what the Jazz can do. And, like the Jazz, or I mean, excuse me, the Suns, just because, you say that Chris Paul is the only guy with experience, but they've been a completely different team with Chris
yep,
Paul
yep,
this season. So he has made a difference there. And I think we'll continue to see that in the playoffs. And then the Nuggets without Mitchell, or not, excuse me, Jamal Murray,
yep.
that's going to be a story to watch too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really, I'm not as excited about the playing game in the East because I believe those four teams, I don't think they can beat a 1 or a 2 seed. I don't think they can beat the Sixers. I don't think they can beat the Bucks. I don't think they can beat the Brooklyn Nets. In the West, look at the bottom four teams. The Lakers are only 1 game out of the playing game, by the way, 1.5 maybe. So the Blazers, the Warriors, the Grizzlies, these teams have beat the best teams in the West already. So I can't wait to see who comes out of those playing games and then how they compete against the Jazz. And with the Jazz and the Suns are going to have the 1 and 2 seed. Just depends on who's 1 and who's 2. So I can't wait to see who's going to come out. Is Steph Curry going to stay hot? I guarantee if you're a 1 or 2 seed, you do not want to face the Blazers or Steph Curry and the Warriors right now because they're both playing really well, and they have stars that can absolutely 1 or 2 games where they can get you a win on the road, and then they come home and these teams play good at home.
Yeah, that's the thing about what would scare me so much about playing the Blazers and the Warriors, because they do have those players that can completely take over a game. I don't want to face Dame Dalla, in the first round of the playoffs. The way that he can take over a game, score 50, and hit the game winner all at the same time. You could say the same thing for Steph Curry. I think Steph Curry has a little less help in Golden State. I think I would rather face the Warriors than the Trailblazers, but definitely. Going to be interesting down the stretch, and I'm really excited to watch meaningful basketball here soon.
Soon.
Anything else you're looking at or think better should know going into the day?
I'll just say this, Sean. Most people usually know Sean's on our quick hits. Usually, Sean is leaving to go to Texas, so he couldn't get on today. But you can get Sean's. I give you a deal today. Picksandparlays.net/Sean. Check that out. You get Sean's 3-day pass for $39.99 or a 7-day pass for $89. So make sure you check it out at that link, and you get Sean's picks still. And Sean will be back with us next week. We'll be back tomorrow, just Chelsea and I. But Sean will be back next week in his new digs, I'm guessing.
Right, and the No Drama Llama hopefully will be returning too.
Yeah.
If you guys have been watching. And also, as always, make sure and hit the likes up button, or excuse me, the thumbs up button. If you like what we're doing, leave a comment with your best bet of the day, and we'll look down them all, just for my personal knowledge, because some of you guys are pretty knowledgeable bettors. So I do like to see what everybody likes for the day. And again, we'll see you tomorrow around lunchtime for Quick Hits. That's going to do it for us at Picks and Parlays. Great stuff from Craig Trapp. I'm Chelsea Messenger. Join us tomorrow. Hit that like button, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.